So you may have heard that the organization that runs cycling, the UCI, likes to classify things. Riders, their suspicions about riders, and most relevant to today's episode, events. A UCI C1 cyclocross race is worth a full 80 points, making day one of the Providence Cyclo-cross festival worth twice as much as any stateside race this season. Sure, I guess Cross Vegas was technically a C1, but does dumping the Statue of Liberty or the Eiffel Tower into the middle of the desert make Vegas into Paris or New York? I don't think so. Anyway, check out the firepower on this start line, 3 of the top 10 from last year's World Championships. You can see why those UCI points mean so much. Cal Giant's L. Anderson, coming off 4 consecutive wins at C2 events, still only has enough points to make it into the second row. Kona's Helen Wyman, who appears to be looking at what I can only assume is the actual starting official, gets the drop on everyone off the line, cruising to the hole shot, while Trek's Katie Compton, who didn't have the best start at Worlds last year either, dropped well back into the field. Historically, Providence has been a fast, open course, with lots of quick elevation changes and long straightaways. But as this still not entirely accurate course map shows, a lot of the longer pedaling stretches were broken up with technical features, leaving only 2 long paved sections for the application of pure power. Even their flyover, just out of frame to the right here, was wedged into a series of other awkward bends. The end result is that it's pretty easy to get hemmed up by the rider in front of you, and it's probably why Anderson passes Wyman fairly early in lap 1. Taking up the burden of setting pace in exchange for clean lines, while others coast and brake, trying to suss out the few moments where a pass is possible, as Compton does here around Marin Spy's Nicole Duke and Raleigh Clement's Caroline Mani. That constant battle is probably why Compton powered to the front coming into the second lap, pushing forward an early selection of Wyman, Anderson, Luna's Katarina Nash, Duke, and Rafa Focus's Gabby Duran, and again you can see the riders behind adjusting and slowing through this chicane. Position on the front also allowed Compton a clean shot at riding a not too challenging set of boards that the rest of the leaders chose to run. Compton's pressure eventually snapped the elastic, leaving Duran, Duke, and Wyman 8 seconds down, with Cal Giant's Meredith Miller and Optum Kelly Benefit's Crystal Anthony closing fast. Nash came to the front on lap 3, trading off with Compton and building the group's advantage, which was now out to 12 seconds over a chase that had gained Miller and lost Wyman. With Anthony threatening to increase the chase to 4 and the leading trio looking around a bit, regrouping didn't seem out of the question. But over the top of the stairs in the next lap, Nash took advantage of a quick remount at a long paved stretch to put seconds into Anderson and Compton and kept the pressure down, adding time little by little as the lap wore on. Meanwhile, the once promising chase came to pieces as Anthony and Miller distanced Duke and Duran as they began paying for their earlier efforts. Nash's gap really expanded at 2 to go, as the former cross-country skier attacked corners, managing to pull dust from a course that had previously been notable for its tackiness, and her advantage probably took even more wind out of Anderson and Compton's sails as the two became more and more preoccupied with an eventual sprint for second. Nash might have gotten a little casual at the bell. Her gap at the stairs was definitely reduced from the previous time around, but she'd still roll in for a comfortable win, leaving the drama to the duo behind. Compton seemed to keep her powder dry through the closing lap, setting up cagily behind the Cal Giant rider, but Anderson led the charge onto the pavement and easily distanced the reigning world silver medalist for second. I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that's how the race was won.